Ocean Keeper Co-op. This game might just be the indie slam dunk that we've been waiting for, and I'm excited to talk about it today. Now, Ocean Keeper Co-op is a game that builds on the formula of the original Ocean Keeper, and if you haven't played that game, well, you're doing yourself a disservice, because this indie game is incredible. It might just look like a simple kind of wave-based tactical defense game, but honestly, this is so much more. And now, with Ocean Keeper Co-op, it goes even further. So I managed to play early access of this game, and I'm very, very happy, and thank you so much to the developers for sending me early access. Now, this developer team is actually based in Ukraine, in Kiev, and first of all, I just want to just applaud them for pushing through with their projects, their passion, their creativity. It does come through in this experience. Given the current situations in Ukraine and everything, it's very commendable what they've managed to achieve here, and I just wanted to highlight that point. It's a small indie developer team of 15 people, so it's relatively small, and they have been up and running for over a year and a half now. So first things first, okay, with Ocean Keeper Co-op, you have different classes that you can choose from. You have the miner and you have the courier, but in single player mode, which is the one I played, you can't actually access the courier, so the miner has 3 different options. And this is very important because it changes how you gather resources in the game. So you have the traditional mining gear, you have this giant robot hand, or you can have the laser beam, which targets more than one resource block at a time, which is very useful when you're mining. And at the start of each round, you get to choose your base weapon: machine gun, shotgun, cluster launcher, or rocket gun, and then it throws you straight into the mining based gameplay. Now, like I said, I really love playing around with this laser class. And I was lucky enough in one of my first ever play tests, I actually came across a portal which will transport you into different sections of the map. There you might find, greater rarity of loot and resources, and it's all very much pressure focused and tactical because you are timed during these mining sections, and that's why you have to work as a team together to gather these resources, shuttle them back and forth with, your courier or miner class, and you have this little rope attached to you, as you can see, and then you have to bring it back to either your robots that will help, collect the resource, or just, deposit it yourself. Then what we get is the wave-based kind of roguelike mode in which you have to actually defend, your kind of main mining operation. And this is where it gets crazy.
This is where the fun begins.
I think the music slaps pretty hard most of the time, so I do have to commend them on that as someone who has made music for games. Now, basically, you're fighting off a whole bunch of different enemy types, but they are, of course, all very much pescatarian friendly because they are all of the seafood variation. But you get things like, quicker attacking fish type enemies, then you get much bigger enemies, you get these gas type creatures that will explode on impact, so you need to take them out quickly. And it took me a while to figure all of this stuff out, but how it works in co-op is each player has their own kind of outer ring section. So for example, if you chose shotgun, you're going to be in this innermost circle, and you can't, have long range attacks, but another teammate might choose a machine gun, and they can then attack further distance. And it's all about working as a team together. And after each round, you get to choose a module to upgrade. Next, as you can see, is the Power Fist gameplay. This is another class that I just wanted to try out. So as you can see, it takes much less time to gather resources, but you can't hit as many resource points as possible compared to the laser beam, so there is a lot to think about, and this was already fun, I've got to be honest, just playing it solo. So playing this with a group of friends, I can't imagine, but I think this is going to be great, and I'm definitely excited to check that out, because you really do have to work as a team. It doesn't give you much time, and honestly that does add pressure, but it's a fun kind of pressure because you have to gather, as much resources as possible. There's also useful upgrades throughout the game. The one that I found the most useful is, after the kind of wave-based shooter round, you get these different unlocks like I showed you. One that I found very useful was one that let me highlight and see where the resources are in the map. It's It's only for a brief second and it does dissipate after one use. It's the same with any module that you choose. That can be like a nuke that I'm going to showcase later, or it can be as simple as just simply extra firepower, or, you know, making your weapons spin around quicker, because it is all like in a circle arcadey layout, which I really like, because then, you know, you have to really focus on your personal zone. You can't just, you know, shoot wherever you want on the map, which makes it much more tactical, because each enemy type has different variations of attacks. Some go in a straight line, some follow like a cluster pattern, some move much more slowly. You get bigger enemy types as the waves increase. As you would expect, it gets more difficult as the waves increase, and I just love all of this variation. And that's what's going to make it such a satisfying co-op game, I think, because it's got the best elements of extraction-based, you know, mining, almost like Deep Rock Galactic. I know that's what I keep referring to, but it honestly did remind me of that a lot, but then with a kind of, you know, roguelike tower defense arcadey gameplay. And I love how the different gameplay in this is completely segmented, you know, the action compared to the mining. Instead of it being, you know, like defending the tunnels that you actually are mining, it's all based in this kind of, you know, tower defense mode. And I like that. Maybe that would be a cool thing to add later on, just to add some variation, but I really do like that, you know, each mode is very focused, but both offer tactical gameplay, that's for sure. So as you can see, you know, you have weapon modules, you have mech upgrades. Now, skills are very important to invest in early, I would say, but it's all about making those decisions, you know, because you do have only one health bar of your mech, and once it's destroyed, it's game over, and you have to restart. Now, when you're in the mining mode, some resources are going to be a lot more difficult to extract than others, and it will depend on how much time it takes to mine. So that's why it's very important to work as a team. You need couriers and miners, and you need people, you know, working together, creating, you know, actually good tunnels that feed into each other. Otherwise, you're going to be scrambling to get, you know, it back at base. There's also like different machinery that you can use later on as you upgrade and get further into the game. So there's a lot here, and honestly, I was very impressed by these developers. The way that they managed to build on the foundation of the previous Ocean Keeper, but making it accessible to a multiplayer game mode with a lot of replayability. It's one of those games that is tactical enough to feel a little bit of pressure and a little bit of stress, that you can't just sit back and take it easy, but it's also kind of zen-like in its mining and, you know, the upgrade system. Like, you do have to think about a lot of stuff, but you know, it doesn't get to the point of being over-complicated, I would say, which is the perfect balance. Now here I'm going to demonstrate you. I managed to buy a nuke, and this is a one-time use. You know, these are upgrades that you can get at the end of each round, and as you can see, it completely destroys the whole surrounding enemies. Nuking! So when you are playing co-op, you do have to communicate with your buddies, otherwise it's easy to let in stragglers. But honestly, it's still fun solo. I was having a blast with it, and I love this kind of theme of fighting, you know, alien monsters, but in an ocean setting, and mining in an ocean setting. I just think that's pretty cool, to be honest. So at the end of each round, like I said, you choose different modules, but it's not just for the kind of tower defense, you know, wave-like mode, where you have to defend against a bunch of enemies, but also you can get upgrades and skills and all of this kind of stuff for when you're mining. So for example, as you can see here, Golden X-Ray, that is a very, very useful skill to have. And honestly, the sound design in this game slaps. It just cooks very nicely, I gotta be honest. It's very zen-like when you are mining compared to the action of, you know, defending your mining operation. But, you know, there is still a lot of pressure here because you do have a limit. But there is still a lot of pressure here as you do have a limited amount of time. So I'm about to use my X-ray vision, and as you can see, it highlights in green the little resource points that I can't see, and this is very, very useful. And I just love that there's different playstyles each time that you play. That's kind of the roguelike element, is there's always something new to unlock. So each time you go through this wave-based system, it's going to be different. So let's take a look at Ocean Keeper Co-op and their Steam page. Please go down below and click the link in the description and the pinned comment to wishlist this game. Honestly, these developers deserve so much love and praise. I'm just so impressed with what they're creating. Like, I've worked with so many indie developers at this point. A lot of them have the passion, but they don't have the actual creativity, the vision to truly make a good game. And that's just me being brutally honest. Now, these guys are different. Like, their game design actually slaps, and they've already proven it with their previous game. You know, how beloved it is, with very positive scores on Steam, and honestly, they've already thought out a roadmap for this game, so you can be rest assured that they are taking this game very seriously, and it's just a hidden gem in all honesty, and I do not want you to miss out on Ocean Keeper. So please do not sleep on Ocean Keeper Co-op. I honestly think this is a great game. Do not skip this. If you are a fan of indie games that try and blend genres, which I am, you know, it's trying something new. That's what I want to see. Creativity, passion, and actual good level design. The mining system is well thought out. It's tactical with all of these tunnels that you have to, you know, formulate in your mind, know where the different portals and exits are, and there's even more crazy stuff later on that you can unlock, like I showed you at the beginning, with all of these different machinery to, you know, collect your resources all in one point, and it gets more and more crazy with the waves. Bigger enemies appear, you fight these giant, almost boss-like enemies later on, so it's just got a lot going for it. And I'm just very impressed so far with this game and the developers, and it's been a joy and an absolute pleasure, and it's been an absolute pleasure for them to trust in me to check out and give you the first early access review of Ocean Keeper Co-op. So if you're looking for an indie game that is polished, that is trying something different with roguelike elements and turret defense elements with mining, like, this has got so many great ideas and it blends them all in one unique game. I honestly think you're going to have a great time with this, solo or co-op. I definitely do think it's going to be more fun in co-op. Honestly, I think this is a developer that you should keep your eye on, my wise ones, and I just think that it has a lot going for it, and you should definitely wishlist it, check it out. Also, the price that they're asking for is ridiculous for the amount of playtime and replayability that you're getting here. So I do hope you enjoyed this exclusive look and the first Ocean Keeper Co-op review, early access bear in mind, but they've got a great roadmap coming out. They've got tons of, you know, stuff coming to this game. You can go read about it on Steam, which I highly recommend, and wishlist it. And honestly, the team, you can tell they're passionate gamers and they care about gamers first. And if this is your first time here, subscribe. But honestly, thank you, my wise ones, for OGs watching this video, supporting these indie developers. That's something so cool that I feel my audience can do now and give back to the gaming community and other artists. So thank you for watching, and check out Ocean Keeper Co-op. So thank you for watching, my wise ones. It truly does mean everything to me from the bottom of my heart. The fact that I can showcase, you know, great indie games, not just talk about the AAA stuff, that really does mean a lot to me. So thank you for watching.